This is Trade Planning with askSlim Tools. I'm going to show you one of the most oversold groups using the Slim Ribbon PO, and the OBI, the Options Bias Indicator. We've seen extreme weakness in the transportation category, and I'm going to give you a quick look at 15 stocks in that category that have shown a lot of weakness. And these tools are going to really help you understand how you can see the conditions and when there's an extreme condition and you may expect a reversal. Let's take a look here as we first look at the Dow Jones Transportation Index, DJT, and you can see in here that it has been extremely weak during this period right over here. Now the tools we're using right here are the Slim Ribbon PO right here, and this is the option bias indicator on the bottom here, and on the top is the Slim Ribbon, which you can see the ribbon there, and we're illustrating it with an area chart that really gives you a good look at when something is bullish or bearish. Now you can see in here adding the Slim Ribbon and the Slim Ribbon PO right there gives you an indication of when momentum is strong and resuming to the downside or the upside. Here's a period where you had weak momentum right in here, as you can see, and what happened during that period was the Slim Ribbon PO was giving you not only a negative reading, but these resumptions to the downside, as you can see. Here, where it was strong and you had this big advance, you can see that this was green and you were getting upside resumption signals right in there. Here you could see it was actually beginning to turn down, and then you went neutral and then went bearish. On the bottom here, what you can see is that the option bias indicator is telling you the best way to bias your option positions. And that is over here where it was negative, it was best to have a short bias. Here it went neutral, as you can see it's yellow, and then a short bias again. And then when it went positive, it was telling you bias to the long side. And here where you see those lighter greens, it's warning you that it's getting a little bit overdone. Now, when you get a little orange dot, which there are none on this chart, that then tells you it's an extreme and likely to be giving you a reversal. The option bias study is very unique in that it uses multiple time frames and also adds in a volatility component so that it tells you when something extreme is going on or when you're trending, as you saw right over here. So this is the transportation index, and you can see right now it's negative, and it is giving you some signals that you could get more downside in here, and this is likely to turn down and give you a bearish signal again at some point in here. But right now, this is negative. Now, when I look at the individual stocks, we're going to go to United Airlines first. You can see in here there's some other information along with this. Now, during this period that the transportation was strong, it was actually a longer and stronger period for United Airlines. And you can see option bias positions were telling you to stay on the long side. It was getting a little bit overbought right over there. Now what happened was it turned neutral and then went negative and said, let's bias our positions to the short side. Then right over here, you see those two little orange dots? That's telling you that there is an extreme situation right now. What is likely to happen is that it will rally from this level in the 45s to somewhere up here in the 49s, maybe 48s, 49s over the short term. This is an extreme condition, and sometimes it gives you a pretty important reversal. Sometimes it gives you minor reversals. The Slim Ribbon will tell you that as it improves or does not improve as the rebound comes. Let's get through the rest of these 14 other symbols very quickly, and you'll get an idea. You can see very similar in here. What's different on this one is that while this was bullish, it went to slightly overdone right there, and then it was giving you a series of signals that it was peaking. You can see right there, and that was absolutely perfect. This is a great indicator. Here it tells you stay on the short side, and now it's giving you an indication it is likely to reverse and maybe get up into these 14s that you can see right there. That's American Airlines. This is Delta. This one is not as oversold as you can see, but giving you the same kind of information. Just fantastic look at how to bias your positions in there. And here you can see with Southwest, looks a lot like we saw in United Airlines, but it wasn't as positive during this period over here. It was giving you negative readings, biased to the short side, quite overbought right over here, telling you look for a reversal, and oversold right over here, telling you look for a reversal back up here into the slim ribbon, probably at the worst case. So you got a bounce coming in here in Southwest. If you were short, you wouldn't want to be short anymore. This is giving you a good indication. Here is JetBlue. You can see very overbought right over here, very oversold right over here. This was the peak. This is likely an area that it's going to give you a bounce. Alaska Air, very similar situation. Look at those beautiful long side readings that you had in May and June. The peak that you had in July with that perfect reading there, and then the quite oversold reading there. Here's Ryanair, and this one has got just nothing really overbought or oversold of any extreme, but still telling you how to bias your positions. And here you see another downside signal right over there after it got a bounce in the market there and got past that slim ribbon. So that's telling you it may pull back a little bit more. Here you see when you look at Spirit Airlines, that it's giving you very mixed conditions right in here. As it has started to turn better, it actually went neutral here, as you can see it yellow. So this is actually a little bit stronger than the rest of the group. Here you could see the peak came perfectly. Here you could see the bottom came perfectly on that extreme, we call this a reading of N3 or P3. This is positive at an extreme, negative at an extreme. You don't really have that reading here because this is actually improved better than some of the other ones. Here is Copa Holdings, also in the same group, still reading negative there. Here is HA, Hawaiian Holdings. You can see called the top right here nicely on that P3. Here the N3 and calling the bottom, and the rally starting already as it is improving now to yellow, to neutral right there. And now let's take a look at the a few of these stocks in the rails category. Norfolk and Southern, nice peak that it called right here in the P3, a nice bottom called here in the big rally in the N3, still negative, and it may pull back a little bit from here, but that called it perfectly. Let's see if it can hold the rally. Here you can see another one similar to that. As you got the N3 reading right there, it was negative, stay short. N3 says cover, and here it's turning neutral right there as it gets back up into the slim ribbon. Union Pacific, here you can see it's still negative right in here, not giving you an oversold reading. This actually may be getting ready to give you a negative signal right there. So not great when you look at that. And let's just look at FTX and UPS to round out this category. Still negative there in FTX, as you can see, but giving you great readings. Look at this, P3s all the way across right over here, telling you extremely strong right there, and you have to bias yourself to the long side until it gave you that neutral reading and then the negative reading. And UPS, as you can see here, still giving you negative readings, and they're bouncing. When it bounces up to the slim ribbon and this gets over right here, it tells you look out for another negative signal right there. So that is the look at the extremely oversold group. You could see the stocks that have given you those very oversold readings and the ones that are still looking negative. An amazing group of tools that I showed you right there that really gives you an incredible feel for the market. The transportation's very oversold, but I can tell you that the cycle analysis, which I didn't show you in here, is giving some negative readings and saying the bounce, which is probably going to come very soon, is probably not going to last for a long period of time, and it actually may be setting up to give you some short side readings, short side entries pretty soon. That's it for trade planning with Slim Tools.